Hello everybody, it's a Centralized Dave and I wish you happy fear days and happy fear month. The both indexes are now in fear, also the more reasonable one, the CMC index. And as I was today, I wanted to check like what are viral people, like what are the viral tweets, viral feeds, videos, what are they doing? And as I was going through, I actually realized that now I have it much harder. I have to spend more effort to find anything, to find much of anything, to find either bullishness or bearishness, to find any calls whatsoever. And you know what that means, guys? People are becoming really bored. There is much of anything. There is right now, there is less of anything. There is now just less of the calls either way. And that by itself is the answer I was looking for. So yeah, I am naturally, like, it's very hard to not become a little bit more bullish every time you see this. So I started planning what my composition is going to be coming into Q4. Because I believe now is the right time to plan ahead, and this is what this video is about. So I'm actually including it into my track record series, even though I'm not changing my exposure just yet, but it's connected to my track record, because not only the composition, not only the exposure change, whether I decrease or increase the exposure and when, not only that matters, but of course the coin selection. Because for those of you who have been following me for a bit longer, you might remember that my track record for the coin selection have not been splendid at all, actually. And it is only this last year when I finally managed to kind of reverse my fortune, and even that had to be through very risky and very hectic measures. Because again, last year when I was going back all in October, my coin selection was disaster, actually. But as the months were going, this time I was actually quicker in realizing that, and I then took the risk and rotated out of those positions. And I also informed you about it back in February, March. I also made a video and put it into this series. So, with my composition, also having learned all my lessons, this is not the time, I believe, to, excuse my language, but to fuck around with the small coins. Like, I'm not going all in small coins. I don't believe I will ever do that. Although the only time when I imagine when it would or could make a rational sense to do would be like the last 3 months of the whole cycle. I don't believe that's the case today. I don't believe that's the case for the rest of this year. So I'm not considering that at all. So my portfolio composition is going to be way more reasonable. And my portfolio composition is going to be composed, the biggest position is going to be Bitcoin. I would make this video way too long to explain why. Let's just stick to the results. So the Bitcoin, the biggest position. The second biggest position is going to be the Ethereum and some major player within the Ethereum ecosystem. There are some major players that I believe are really something or resemble something that the world really needs. Because when we are talking about the crypto that the world really needs, and we're not talking about speculative assets like Ethereum, Bitcoin. We are talking about really catastrophe-proof, really ultimate stablecoin, crypto-based stablecoins. Like, I believe that's what the world needs the most, because that's the decentralized form of medium of exchange that everybody needs. Because of course, as a cryptocurrency, as a currency, as a medium of exchange, it has to be stable. Nobody's gonna want to keep in the wallet something that goes very quickly up or down. And of course, it's very sweet when it goes up, but it never lasts forever. Therefore, and there are some players, like, I think that the stable coin that resembles the best what I have in my mind as the ultimate cryptocurrency that the world needs is DAI. It's Maker DAI, and obviously it's pegged thanks to Maker. So I think Maker token makes sense. So I'm also looking into that. and it's also large crypto. It's been around, it's liquid, it's pretty much stable. It was strong this year as well. It didn't drop to like cycle lows, not through the floor, like lots of the things, also technical things that I like about it. Then also Uniswap and decentralized exchanges. That's also what I believe the world needs. I'm not gonna keep explaining and going on in each case why this video will be way too long. Ethereum and some major player within the Ethereum ecosystem is the second largest position, and the third largest position actually, even, or the smallest position in my portfolio, is going to be, and now hold yourself, meme coins. And I know what you're thinking, that like, yeah, like Dave, you just called like the end of the meme craze and the end of like the meme season, and you just called that many of these meme coins will never break to the all-time highs they had this year. And while I think that might age really true and might age well, I also think that since we had this meme season and now the memes are really beautifully correcting, like pretty much all of them, every single one of them, some more, some less, what are they gonna do if we have some kind of a market strength? What they are gonna do, they are going to rebound very nicely, even if they are not gonna break through the all-time highs ever again, even if they're still gonna have a very juicy and very sweet rebounds. So they still also make sense if I, of course, can keep an eye on them and just to make sure that I don't miss the sells. However, I also believe that there are still some meme coins that will also make even new all-time highs as we are gonna go and progress throughout the cycle. I don't believe this was the end of the cycle. I think the only way how this could have been the end of the cycle if we have some kind of a nuclear explosion, we have some kind of a mother of all black swans right now or around this time, or if like the next year at the latest we have like the mother of all recessions. But I don't think any of these will come true. I don't think so. I think that this Japanese yen event, that was the bad event that I was actually waiting for, or I was thinking that something like that could happen around the end of the summer. I think that was it. And as for the mother of all recessions, I think that when the recession does arrive, and I think it really should, because it's also the hodlers also need to be punished. Just like the doomsayers, also the hodlers, I believe, will be punished. Both parties are extreme. So some recessions should arrive, and also there are adding up the like indicators and signs of weaknesses or coming weakness, etc., etc. So when the recession does arrive, I think it's going to prove to not be very strong, rather a mild one. So again, it's going to interfere with the crypto cycle, obviously, but I think that the worst that is going to happen is that the crypto is just going to come back to serious undervaluation. What do I mean by that? When you take the current market cap log regression, and when you look at whether we go to below 50% versus the trend line. The trend line today stands at 3.6 trillion-ish. So the moment we go below 1.8 trillion right now, we are in serious undervaluation, that moment actually. And I believe that when the recession comes, we are going to back to serious undervaluation. But that's, I think, speaking too soon, because I don't think that the recession is next. But I think that once this summer is done, and perhaps the whole quarter, I believe that a rebound is going to be next. How high that rebound is going to be, how ferocious that is going to be, how good is it going to be for altcoins, etc., etc. That's a question for another time. Wanted to share my coming portfolio composition, so I did. And yeah, I'll inform you again, and enjoy the fear month, enjoy the fear days, not gonna last forever.